Let's talk. Let's catch up. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Let's talk all things politics. Government shutdown coming. Come on in, like the video. As you come on in, like, share, and subscribe. It's been a lot going on. I haven't been out much as of late, but it's pretty much just because of the climate of things. I kind of took a break, but I want to do a temperature check, so come on in. Come on in. Come on in, like the video. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm creating a poll because it's looking like the government will shut down. We've seen it before. It's not good when it happens, but we have been here before. Come on in, like the video, like, share, and subscribe. All right. Good evening. I've created a poll. Do you think the Republicans will shut the government down this month? Complete the poll. Really, it's the cards are in the Republicans' hands just because they hold all the seats. What they got, the Republican, with the Senate. Listen, they got all the seats all the way up to the White House. Good evening, Paul. They got all the seats. So this is really going to be a situation to where if it is shut down, then you already know who shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Because if most of the votes falls in one corner, y'all, 1 + 1 = 2. Y'all know what I'm saying? So it's in the seats of the Republicans. Like, I don't know how else to slice it and dice it. It's in the hands of the Republicans. So right now, that is where we are. And I was listening to, before I started this live, what really prompted me to go live, I was listening to the House Leader, Jeffrey, let me see, what is his name? Hakeem Jeffries. And I'm going to play some of I'll play it. I'll let some more people come in, but I'll play what he's saying because what he's saying is making a lot of sense. He's like, listen, I'm trying to start some conversations, but they're ignoring me. They're not taking my phone calls. They're canceling meetings. Like, what else to do? It's giving that you really just want to shut this show down. Like, if you're not trying to have conversations with the Democrats, then how else do you take it? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, okay, the Republican side already know what they want to do. So it's like, Democrats, I really don't need to talk to you because my mind is made. Y'all know, like, we use common sense over here, common sense and discernment. I know, listen, Dr. Phil said years ago, common sense just ain't that common no more. And he is so right about that. So I want to play for you all what this House representative, so what is his title? He's the House Democrat leader. I want to play for you what he is saying that's going on with the, with the situation. So y'all come on in here, like the video as you come on in. Like the video. I got 30 people, one like. Y'all doing me wrong. I know I ain't been out here in a while, but at least, can I at least get 30 likes? It's the little things for me. So come on in, y'all. So this is the House Leader Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries. And yeah, let's hear what he has to say. Fair use.
Political violence and ideologically motivated violence across the spectrum is far too high in the United States of America right now. We need leadership that brings people together, not national leadership that tears people apart. We are here today in the Capitol, ready to get to work, ready to meet with anyone, anytime, any place, in order to avoid a painful Republican-caused government shutdown. We will partner in a bipartisan way to try to find common ground in order to enact a spending bill that actually meets the needs of the American people. Democrats do not support the partisan Republican spending bill because it continues to gut the health care of the American people. Republicans have launched an all-out assault on the health care of everyday Americans.
Please complete the
largest
poll.
cuts of Medicaid in American history. Millions of people throughout urban America, rural America, small town America, and the heartland of America, along with black and brown America, losing coverage. The Affordable Care Act is under assault by Republicans who refuse to extend the tax credits, and as a result, at least 20 million Americans are going to experience dramatically increased health care premiums, copays, and deductibles. Medicare will face a $536 billion cut at the end of this year if Congress doesn't act because of the Republican one big ugly bill. All across the country, hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health clinics are closing, including in rural America, because of the Republican health care crisis. And Republicans have effectively ended medical research in the United States of America, including terminating research for children with cancer. This is an immoral assault on the health care of the American people. And that's why Democrats have drawn a line in the sand. We will work together, sit down, meet anytime, any place, with anyone in order to avoid a Republican-caused government shutdown and in order to decisively address the Republican health care crisis that is devastating the people of the United States of America. Questions?
Mr. Leader, at this point, with no talk scheduled, do you just anticipate this would be on cruise control for a government shutdown?
Republicans have clearly demonstrated they want to shut the government down. Throughout this process, an intentional decision was made by Republican leadership in the House and the Senate not to have a single conversation with Democrats. They're not even pretending as if they want to find common ground. Donald Trump agrees to our demand on Saturday to hold a meeting in the Oval Office to try to avert a government shutdown. The meeting is set on Monday for later on in the week, and then Donald Trump wakes up Tuesday morning and goes on an unhinged rant and cancels the meeting. Why? Because he doesn't want to discuss the Republican health care crisis, and they've decided to shut the government down. And on top of all of that, Mike Johnson cancels votes that we were scheduled to have next Tuesday and next Monday in immediate advancement of a possible government shutdown, decides that there's no need for us to be in town. I mean, that's all outrageous, and it points to one thing. Republicans have decided to shut the government down.
What do you think got to this? What do you think got to this?
When was the last time that you spoke to Speaker Johnson about a shutdown?
We spoke briefly last week about the logistics around the government funding vote, but had no discussion about substance.
If Republicans were to include an ACA funding extension in the CR, would that be sufficient to limit your work?
We have to have a conversation with Republicans in order to work toward decisively resolving the healthcare crisis that they've created. And part of that healthcare crisis relates to the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. America is already too expensive. Electricity bills are skyrocketing, housing costs are skyrocketing, grocery prices are skyrocketing. The Trump tariffs are causing increased expenses to the tune of thousands of dollars per year for everyday Americans. And now we're facing this healthcare crisis caused by Republicans that is going to result in increased healthcare premiums, copays, and deductibles that may cost some Americans thousands of dollars a year in additional costs.
When it comes to the health care, does it need to actually be a provision within a bill, or would it be enough for Johnson and Thune to verbally commit to working with you to extend the ACA tax credit?
I have a very forward-looking, positive, and communicative relationship with Speaker Mike Johnson, but there's no trust that exists between House Democrats and House Republicans at this particular point in time, given the fact that they've consistently tried to undermine bipartisan agreements that they themselves have reached. Any agreement related to protecting the health care of the American people has to be ironclad and in legislation.
The government shut down. What leverage do Democrats have at that point?
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. The country has been lectured all year about how Republicans are in charge. If the government shuts down, it will shut down because Donald Trump and Republicans in the House and the Senate have made that decision to intentionally inflict pain on the American people. The question is being asked all across the country. Why don't Republicans want to address this health care crisis?
Have you completed the poll tonight?
Related to Medicaid,
Please
hospitals,
complete the
nursing
poll.
homes, community-based health clinics, the Affordable Care Act, medical research, cancer research, Medicare, and the things that matter to the health and well-being of the American people. Like this is a serious moment. This is not a fire drill. It's a 5-alarm fire that Republicans have caused related to the healthcare crisis. And that's why Democrats have drawn this line in the sand and are ready, willing, and able to have a conversation with any of them, as we were willing to go to the White House, but then Donald Trump decides to pull the plug.
He did say in an interview earlier today he was willing to sit down and negotiate specifically on this issue of the ACA subsidies, willing to have that conversation. He just doesn't, in his words, want the process to be hijacked over government funding. Can you respond to that?
No one is hijacking the process. Republicans decided to put forth a partisan spending bill that barely escaped out of the House and then went down in flames in the Senate. They have no solution. Republicans have no path forward. There is no viable bill. And so the only path forward at this moment is for us to have a bipartisan conversation as to a spending bill that would actually meet the needs of the American people. And we were on track to have that conversation in the White House until Donald Trump and the Republicans backed out. They're running scared. They have no defensible position. And that's why, unfortunately, they're marching us to a government shutdown.
Mr. Leader, what precisely is partisan about the Republican bill?
Democrats did not support the spending agreement in March in the House of Representatives and overwhelmingly in the Senate because it represented, at the time, an attack on veterans, an attack on housing, an attack on nutritional assistance, and an attack on the health care of the American people at the time. That's why the bill did not receive support from House Democrats, with one exception, in March. So the legislation that they've put before the House and now the Senate in a take-it-or-leave-it fashion is just a continuation of a dirty spending bill that we did not support in March.
But Mr. Leader, this is a bill that would temporarily fund government. There are not the traditional riders that we see about policy on it. Are you saying it's partisan because Democrats won't support it? Isn't that a circular?
No, it's not partisan because Democrats won't support it. Democrats did not support it in March. We did not support this bill.
One that would be temporary funding through the end of November. Why is that partisan?
It's partisan because it didn't have the votes in the House in a bipartisan way. There was no conversation. There was no discussion. There was no effort to actually sit down and figure out what type of spending bill would meet the needs of the American people. The notion that we're supposed to accept that this is a clean continuing resolution is a joke. It's not. It's dirty for a wide variety of reasons. I explained it repeatedly, and it continues the assault on the health care of the American people.
Hey, Virtuous, I see you in here working.
Biden spending levels. Let's be clear about that. The Biden spending level, that's another Republican talking point. The Biden spending levels were agreed to by President Joe Biden in the December continuing resolution. That's the bipartisan bill. in December, not in March. That's the Trump spending level. And the notion that anyone would just accept the statement that those are Biden spending levels, when it's very easy to take a look at the bill in December that was passed with bipartisan margins and signed into law by then President Joe Biden, and the bill in March that was jammed down the throats of the American people in a very partisan way and signed into law by Donald Trump. Don't accept that idea that it's the Biden spending numbers when the facts say exactly the opposite. I expect to have a conversation with Leader Schumer at some point later on today. We've been in close contact with each other. We've repeatedly made clear that we are going to work together anytime, any place, and sit down with anyone on the other side of the aisle in order to avoid a Republican-caused government shutdown.
Please like the video
to address the Republican healthcare crisis.
and complete the
Republicans
survey.
have refused to meet because they don't want to deal with the healthcare crisis that they've created. That's the reality. The largest assault on the healthcare of the American people in history. And no one disputes that. It's an assault on working class Americans. It's an assault on urban America, an assault on rural America, an assault on small town America, an assault on the heartland of America, and an assault on the healthcare of black and brown Americans all across the country. Those are the facts. That's why we're standing up in defense of the healthcare of the American people. Our message is simple. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save healthcare. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
That's on that. The Republicans, as I said, it's in their hands. House Leader Jeffries said the Republicans hold all the offices. So if there is a government shutdown, then it's because the Republicans want the government shutdown. So let's talk about if there is a government shutdown, what that looks like. Hey, Virtuous, I hope you're well. What does that look like? Will you be impacted? Let me know if anyone in here currently receives some type of Medicaid, Medicare, all of that. Because there are a lot of people who receive those type of government resources. So you will be impacted by that. And so I want to just talk about just the different areas that will be impacted as if there is indeed a government shutdown. So let's talk. Y'all like the video. It's 112 of you in here, 9 likes. Please like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it. Come on, we doing this tonight. So, impact of a government shutdown. A government shutdown has wide-ranging impacts on federal employees. Are you a federal employee? Do you know someone who is a federal employee? I remember when we had a government shutdown. Yo, when was that where people wasn't getting paid? Was that in 2019? Where people, I knew people who were employed at the airport. And they just was expected to show up to work and not be paid. Like you were expected to come to work. They said a lot of people were calling out then, which understandably, but people were expected to show up to work, and also with them also knowing that there was not going to be a paycheck on Friday. So a government shutdown has wide-ranging impacts on federal employees, government programs, the economy, and the public, with effects increasing the longer a shutdown lasts. As of late September 2025, that's present time, a potential shutdown is imminent due to an approaching deadline to fund federal agencies for the new fiscal year. Impact on federal workers, furloughed employees. Hundreds of thousands of non-essential federal employees are placed on mandatory unpaid leave, though a 2019 law guarantees back pay once a shutdown ends. Employees face financial hardship in the meantime, which can lead to delayed mortgage and credit card payments. How many of y'all can afford to not get a paycheck, let alone get paid for 30 days? If you get paid every 2 weeks, that's 2 paychecks. If you get paid every week, that's 4 paychecks. If you get paid once a month, that's 1 paycheck. Can you afford to miss a paycheck? That is what may potentially happen for many of Americans coming very soon. We've seen it before. I've seen it before. Accepted employees, essential workers, such as law enforcement, air traffic controllers, and active duty military, are required to work without pay during a shutdown. This can cause stress and staffing shortages as seen during the 2018-2019 shutdown when many Transportation Security Administration TSA agents called in sick. Remember, I said during that time, I knew a lot of people who worked at the airport. My mother worked at the airport, but she wasn't a federal worker. She worked for one of the airlines. But I knew people who were employed by TSA. They were, what they say, overworked and underpaid. They had to go, they still had to show up. They still had to show up. Contractors, government contractors are not guaranteed back pay and often face layoffs during a shutdown. Now, ain't that some mess? Some people can get back pay, but not everybody. It's saying that contractors, government contractors are not guaranteed back pay. So let's just say a government shutdown takes place. They doing the work. And then when things resume and they're not getting back pay. So imagine that. Imagine that. Impact on government services. So your national parks and museums. I just left DC in April for a family trip for spring break with the family. Had a wonderful trip. Every museum, everywhere we went, basically it'd be shut down. So if I thought that I want to go for October with the family, all we gonna be looking at is, I need to show y'all these statues. Y'all seen the statue that somebody, let's zoom over. Let's come over here real quick. Y'all seen this? Y'all seen this right here? This is Trump and Epstein. Somebody, see, folks be on that. Y'all, somebody then put a statue up of Trump and Epstein and is able to stay there until like a certain deadline. Some organization, child. Let me play this real quick. We had to have a sidebar on that one. Let me replay. Y'all know how I do over here. I'll go off on a tangent in a minute. Y'all like this video.
And a statue featuring President Trump and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has popped up on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Have you seen this on social media? The temporary statue depicts Trump and Epstein.
Y'all, let me rewind that. I want to see what it say, y'all. Because this right here, I said, I know you.
Epstein.
I said, I know you lying. Let me see. All right. So let's see, y'all. This is what's in D.C. So if I were to take the family to D.C. right now, this is what we would be seeing. In honor of Friendship Month, oh, they know they be playing. We celebrate the long-lasting bond between President Donald J. Trump and his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein. Voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything. Y'all, folks, listen. I told you I had to take a break from this internet and this politics stuff because this is what I'm talking about, y'all. It's just too much. It's too much. It is too much going on. Let me finish playing this. I'm sorry, y'all.
Holding hands and skipping. The statue was put up by a group that calls themselves the Secret Handshake, and it comes during a push to release files having to do with the Epstein investigation and prosecution. President Trump has dismissed the matter as a hoax. A permit indicates that the statue can stay up on the mall until September the 28th.
Okay, so y'all, that's what you would see. So if I were to take the family to DC right now, between now and September 28th, that is what we will be seeing. But anywho, back to the scheduled program. So health and safety inspection. So we're talking about the impact of the government services if there were to be a government shutdown, which is right now is looking very, very likely. I've seen the government come close to the deadline in the final hour. They do what they need to do, keep things open. That's what they did last year. I think Schumer came in and threw his little vote in. He got cussed out royally from the rooter to the tutor by the Democrats for giving in. But he was like, listen, I felt like it was best to go ahead and sign off than to see the people go without. But right now, it's not looking like that it's going to be a conversation anywhere else surrounding that, because you really don't probably need really necessary that vote coming from a Democrat, because like the Republicans pretty much got all the seats. So health and safety inspections, critical functions like food safety inspections by the Food and Drug Administration, which is the FDA, and environmental inspections by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, can be reduced or subpoenaed, posing public health risk. Processing delays, agencies that provide services like small business loans, Passport processing and tax refund experience major backlogs. During the 2013 shutdown, IRS delays affected mortgage and loan approvals. Y'all know people breaking their necks out there trying to get these passports because Trump saying, listen, the U.S. is the hottest place to be. Everybody trying to be here. The economy, listen, we doing a doggone thing. And I ain't hearing nobody else echo what he's saying other than Carol B. Lyon-Levitt when she do her press conference. She used to doing weekly. Now she you might be good with seeing her up there with that cross maybe once every 2-3 weeks. So she done went MIA on it. She don't be coming up there like that. I guess she said she tired of them folks talking about her and how she just getting older and older every time she show back up to the podium. But anyway, y'all come on in here and like this video. Social services program like the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women's, Infants, and Children. So that's WIC. Some of y'all don't act like some of y'all ain't never experienced or used the resource WIC. Get that government cheese and that milk. WIC and supplemental nutrition assistance programs like SNAP could face funding issues and halt in new enrollment, potentially impacting millions of low-income families. Everybody knows somebody who done got some WIC, getting some SNAP, all of them resources that a lot of the illegal immigrants was getting for a long time. Listen, all of that, ain't nobody finna be getting it. So we ain't even gonna be able to blame somebody else, Maria, Juan, them for taking it from her. Because listen, ain't nobody, listen, I've been saying for a long time, it's hard out here for a pimp. Pimping ain't easy. Everybody finna be on the soup line. This government shut down, everybody gonna be on the soup line. Somehow it's going to impact you, even if you do not work for the government, because the impact on all these different areas, there's an area that's going to cross over into your domain, okay? So we all need to be concerned about a potential government shutdown. You think you about to go to the airport, get flued out, get on that Delta flight, kick your heels up? Because you're going to need the people working in the airport, TSA, that's going to need to get you through. And I already heard this week, my husband, he's on a business trip now, family member, they was like, it was already crazy in the airports. This is pre-government shutdown because they already short-staffed. They're the TSA, they're short-staffed. So the line to get through like the security, all of that, they're long. They're very long. Y'all, this is pre-government shutdown. Impact on the economy. Y'all like the video. Reduce economic output. A shutdown directly impacts economic growth. A 2019 Congressional Budget Office, the CBO report, estimated that the 2018-2019 cost the U.S. economy $11 billion, with $3 billion in losses that were never recovered. Low consumer confidence. The uncertainty and financial strain on federal workers can decrease consumer spending, which has a ripple effect on the broader economy. Market volatility. A prolonged shutdown can create concern among investors and potentially impact financial markets. Y'all, like I said, it impacts everyone. You don't have to work for the government to be impacted. It's going to impact just how you just moving about in your day-to-day life. It's just going to be a major inconvenience. Administrative costs. Even short shutdowns require significant resources to implement and reverse continuance plans, which also results in loss of productivity. The latest developments regarding the 2025 potential shutdown. Approaching deadline. The current continuing resolutions, the CR, funding the government expires on September 30th, 2025. So that's next week. That is like the earlier part of next week. Was that Tuesday? I'm thinking. If Congress fails to pass the new funding legislation, a shutdown will occur. Not it might occur, it may occur, it likely will occur. Baby, it will occur. Party negotiations. Negotiations between the White House and the congressional leaderships have been tense, with both parties blaming the other for a potential shutdown. Again, logically, realistically, how do you blame the Democrats if the Republicans hold the House, like all these seats? They have the primary vote. So I don't really understand, really, from a logical standpoint, how the Democrats can kind of carry the weight of any of that. Please complete the survey. Contingency plans unclear. As the deadline nears, many federal agencies have not yet published updated contingency plans detailing which employees and services would be affected, leading to further uncertainty. Y'all, listen, to say something is bad, like that ain't even, this is beyond bad. This is beyond bad. Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know. Let me know, do you work for the government? Do you work for the government? Will you be impacted by your money, by your check? Because I don't work for the government. So for me, it would be more, the impact from just a convenience type thing. I have some trips coming up. I have a business trip coming up in October. I got a personal trip coming up. So if the government shuts down, by the time I'm returning from that trip and going through the airport, basically I would see the impact of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be dealing with people who are just feeling a certain type of way because they know that they're not gonna get a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Have y'all ever dealt with somebody to where you already deal with people a lot of times who don't like their job? But y'all know it take it to a whole nother level if you dealing with somebody to where they already know that what they doing, they not about to get paid for it. Baby, I must say the last time this happened, it was the government shutdown back what they said was 2018-19 when it heavily impacted TSA. I did not go through the airport at all during that time. But this year, with the way the stars are aligning, I will be going through the airport right after the government shuts down, if it shuts down September 30th, because I would be returning later in that week. So that stuff I'm talking about, y'all. So you got to be on your T's and Q's. Be aware of what's going on out here. It's bad. It's pretty bad. Yeah. Let me see. Let me check and see how y'all doing tonight. Like the video. Let me see how the poll is looking. Baby, let's see. Let me see. All right. So let's see some. So do you think the Republicans will shut the government down this month? Y'all, yes, I said the Republicans because they the one got all the votes. They got all the votes. So yes, do you think the Republicans will shut the government down? Oh, yes. 33% say yes. 30% say no. 37% says not sure. Wow, you all. I must say that I've never done a poll. I do polls quite often over here, but I've never done one where it's like all like almost like split the same. It's actually more people. This is the first now to see more people say no. I mean, not sure. More people have said not sure. 37%. Never had that happen. Y'all, we making history over here tonight. 37% like I don't know. At first, when I was talking to my mom earlier, I'm like, they're not going to let the government shut down. Like, they usually like play these type of games, let it get to the final hour. Y'all know how they do the dramatics. They all stay up. They order Papa John pizza and work through the wee hours, and then they place their vote. Next thing you know, we hear that, they voted to. Y'all know how it go. But as I'm listening to just the different, the media outlets, and as I listen to Jeffries tonight, I'm like, I don't know, Sheik. They may go ahead and let it shut down. They may go ahead and let it shut down. It would be very sad if they do let it shut down. I don't want to see that. But listen, I'm just saying, like, this is what it's looking like. Let me try to get through some of these comments. How are you all doing tonight? Adam, you said if the government shut down, fine, but charge all politicians a fine for every day it's shut down. They will all stop playing games. Don't play them, just change them. I like that. I like that. Ivan, what's up, Ivan? He said they confused. Should have been Epstein and Clinton. You talking about with them statues? At first, I thought it was, I thought it was Elon and Trump. But y'all, they was like, ma'am, it is Epstein. Elon ain't the best friend. Elon trying to slide into the space to be the best friend. But that was Epstein all day. Crazy, yo. We may have to play that one back for y'all who just coming in. Kiyoshi said, none of them struggling. Y'all know it be like that. The ones who are in charge will determine if whether us regular people can eat They don't have them type of concerns. Like, they're not dependent. I remember I talked about on my channel earlier on when I started covering politics. It was this one guy, he works underneath the Trump administration, and he was like, listen, if my mother-in-law, like, if she didn't get her social security check, she would just be fine. I feel like the only people who would complain about not getting a check on time are the people who are fraudsters. Yes, but mind you, the guy who made this comment was like, I think he was like a billionaire. You think his mom-in-law dependent on a social security check? That check getting deposited and it's just sitting there. And then she lives at the house with him and his wife. I think his wife mama. So what is you saying, sir? What is you saying? It's that stupid stuff that people be saying. What is you saying? Because you ain't saying a dang thing. This is what I call when people just are out of touch. Ain't no way that you should be making a comment like what your mama wouldn't do when she got kids that got millions and $1 billion in the bank. Like, sir, this was a conversation that you should have just left. You could have set this one out. You could have set this one out because it pissed me off and the world off. But y'all, he meant that. He was like, only ones complaining are the ones who's stealing, because otherwise you would be okay with waiting and having your little check delayed. It's coming eventually. What you complaining about if you know it's on its way one day? Like, y'all, he said it with a straight face. I cannot remember this man's name. I covered it a while ago, but y'all can find it out. Google it. Just put in rich guy in the Trump administration says that let me Google it. Let me show y'all what this man said. Give me a minute. See who said that. All right, I found it, y'all. Y'all, look at this. Show y'all here. He said, the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. That's his name, Howard Lutnick. This is, let me show picture of y'all. Let me go into images so y'all can picture. This, that food right here. This is Howard Lutnick. Y'all should have seen him before. Y'all recognize him? So I'm about to read what he had the audacity to say. Y'all know he got cussed out in all the languages, because I surely went in on the episode of I think it was an episode of Car Chronicles. Y'all, if y'all new to my channel, Car Chronicles is when I talk politics as I drive into the office, typically on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But listen, let's get into the ignorance. So U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick drew criticism in March 2025 for saying that his 94-year-old mother-in-law would not complain if she missed a Social Security check. He made the comment during an appearance on the podcast All In, suggesting that fraudsters would be the only people to scream or yell about a missed payment. I know you effing lying. Like, that stupid stuff. The out of touch, where we say that it's the people out here who are making these decisions who their life, their situations isn't the same. The situations isn't the same as ours. So they can easily say, oh, well, yeah, we can shut this ish down. We good. We'll come back. We'll come back in 30 days. We'll go on vacation. And so, context of this statement. Lutnick's statement was made during a discussion about finding and eliminating fraud in Social Security system. He argued that a simple method for finding fraudulent claims would be to stop payments and see who complains. One moment, please, you all. All right, I'm back. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Y'all let me know if you can't hear me. So also he argued that, let me see. Lutnick's statement was made during a discussion about finding and eliminating fraud in the Social Security system. He argued that a simple method for finding fraudulent claimants would be to stop payments and see who complains. Y'all, what type of sense does that make? Like, what type of sense that make? Like, who the heck, especially in the way these people losing their jobs, who, like, just think about you just working your regular job. You're not even getting a check from the government. Just think about you working your job and that deposit don't hit on the 1st, the 15th, the 30th, whatever day you get. Just think about that. The deposit don't hit. Would you say something? Would you cut the food? Like, what's going on? He's saying that if you complain, that just means that you ain't on the up and up, because otherwise, you wouldn't complain. This is what that man said. And he meant this. He meant it too. The comment came as the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, led by Elon Musk, was conducting a review of Social Security Administration, SSA. The review and the Trump administration reported workforce reductions at the SSA caused anxiety among beneficiaries. So yes, I told y'all, like, this is, you got a lot of out of touch people out here, and a lot of them are in charge of determining your life, making decisions around your livelihood, your paychecks, your benefits, your Medicaid, like all of that. We are definitely living in tough times. We're definitely living in tough times. Daniel Ash says Social Security was established by the people who worked for the Social Security Administration, and government took over by Democrats in the office since they thought it was a good idea to steal work. Jedi Order said, I hope the government shuts down until fascism stops. Are you here for a government shutdown? Do you want the government to shut down? Are you like Yoshi? Go ahead, do what it do. We need to start over anyway. I'm ready for the digital currency. Like all of that. All these things that we've been hearing about for years as far as with the government, what they call it, the reset. You heard of that? The government, the reset. There's so much taking place these days. A lot of changes are taking place. Michael says the party is, Michael Carney says the party in power puts the spending bill together. No Republicans are going to vote against their own bill. No Republicans are going to vote against their own bill. Michael Carney says I could take 6 months off. Most people can't. That's the reality of it. You have some people who can take long breaks, take even a month off. Most people, most Americans can't even take a month off. A lot of Americans, they're like, child, I can't miss a day. Especially if they're they don't have like vacation or sick. They're like, listen, I got to go to work every day. If I miss a day, then things are off track. That's a whole day of pay. It's a lot. Like everybody's situation is different. So you can just kind of speak on what your situation would be like. But I know that playing these games that the government is playing as far as with potentially impacting people's check, it would rock my world if that were to happen to me. And I'm like, oh, okay, well then I don't know if I'm going to get a check. Listen, the way my life is set up and all that I got going on, I can't play those type of games. I'm not in a situation like Lucknick, how he says his 94-year-old mother-in-law can miss a check and she be all good. I don't have millionaire billionaires supporting me. I am not a millionaire or billionaire. So I do rely on getting a paycheck regularly, like majority of the American people. So with me, I'm not a unique situation. The unique situation would be Lucknick's mother-in-law, or the person who said, hey, I cannot work for 6 months, if I understood the comment correctly. That's just not the luxury of most of the people here in the U.S. I would probably say probably in the world, but definitely not here in the U.S. So, yeah, I would say, you all, I would recommend you continue to kind of watch what's going on so you know how to pivot. Like I said, you will see if you are planning to travel, in the coming weeks, if the government is shut down, there would be an impact there, because like the last time they did it in 2018-19, people were calling out. Like, think about it. People knew that they were still expected to work, but also not expecting a paycheck. So people were calling out like, listen, I'm not calling, because they weren't quitting, because if you quit, then you're forfeiting like being able to get paid and all of that, So people are like, okay, I can't quit. I got this sick time, because when you got sick time, then you got sick time. You can use it, right? So people, people was moving smart. Like, I got this sick time, so let me go ahead and call in sick. Let me go ahead and call in sick, because this right here is crazy. And so that's what a lot of people were doing. That was the strategy that they were following during that time. Teresa Williams said, oh yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. Let me see. Let's have a flashback to memory lane when that happened. Let me see. Let's go back. So let me see. Last government shutdown. Let's see what it says. The last time this happened. All right, so y'all, this is what happened the last time. For some of you who may not remember, or everything about it, the U.S. government shutdown was a partial shutdown that lasted 35 days from December 22nd, 2018 to January 25th, 2019. Y'all, that was the holiday season at that. Y'all know is the most busiest time at the airport? Is it Thanksgiving or Christmas? It's one of them days. Baby, like crazy. I normally don't, travel during that time as far as getting flued out and stuff. So as I said, no, I didn't recall. I know I didn't go through the airport during that time, but I didn't recall you all this taking place during the holiday seasons. So the summary of the 2018-2019 shutdown, the cause. The shutdown was the result of an impasse between the then president, Donald J. Trump. Child, this happened on Donald Trump. that happened between Donald Trump and the Congress is over his demand for the $5.7 billion in federal funds to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. I didn't recall that fun fact that it happened on Trump watch. I didn't recall that part. Impact: approximately 800,000 federal employees were affected. I remember that number, with 380,000 furloughed and 420,000 required to work without pay during the funding lapse. Crazy. Resolution: President Trump ultimately signed a stopgap bill to reopen the government for 3 weeks without the wall funding to allow for negotiations. A permanent deal was reached on February 15, 2019 that included some border security funding, but not for the wall. So y'all, that government shut down over the wall, that wall that still wasn't there. Child. Cost: the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, estimated that the shutdown cost the American economy at least $11 billion, including $3 billion in permanent losses. Current status as of September 24, 2025, today, a new government shutdown is being discussed, with federal funding set to expire on September 30th, 2025. Congress must pass new spending legislation to avoid another shutdown. So, yeah, now that I'm reminded that that shutdown happened on Trump's watch, yeah, I'm willing to bet he'll let it happen again. I'm willing to bet it'll happen again. Y'all, this is crazy. This is insane. Yeah. It's looking like, it's going to happen again. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but when I seen that he was in the administration, the White House at that time, I'm like, oh, okay. So that one happened on his watch. Yeah, it'll probably happen again. Woosah. Evelyn says, that wall that we Americans already paid for, get Kamala to pay us back. Child, what is that? Let me see. Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. This is something I just clicked on. Government shutdown, Q&A, everything you should know. September 16, 2025, a fiscal year 2025 will end on September 30th, and Congress has so far enacted 0 of the 12 full-year appropriations bill to fund the government for fiscal year 26. Policymakers have until midnight on September 30th to avoid a lapse in the government funding. Otherwise, the government shutdown will occur. Y'all, it's looking scary out here. It's looking very scary. It's very likely that this is going to happen. So brace yourself. We're just talking about it. Although many programs are exempt, the public is still likely to feel the impact of the shutdown in several ways. For example, so let's see, hold on. Social Security and Medicaid. Checks are sent out, but benefit verification as well as card issuance would cease. While unlikely to happen again during the 1995 to 96 shutdown, more than 10,000 Medicare applications were temporarily turned away every day of a shutdown. Wow. That's crazy. Environmental and food inspections during the 2013 shutdown. The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, halted inspections for 1,200 sites that included hazardous wastes, drinking water, and chemical facilities, and Food and Drug Administration, FDA, delayed almost 900 inspections. During the 2018-19 shutdown, the FDA restored some food inspections a few weeks into the funding lapse for products that were considered high risk. So y'all, this is saying products that normally have to go through like your FDA approval and baby, everything getting sent through because there are those administrations, those groups that normally have to kind of do the quality check for that stuff. It's shut down. So this is saying that they're back in the past when there's been government shutdown, like the food inspection, like that wasn't taking place. So you was eating at your own risk. That is just what I just read. Everybody was eating at their own risk because y'all know how y'all be going to them places and what they be rating and doing the food scores, and you might walk to an establishment, they got a 65. It sound like those inspections and stuff like that. I'm thinking it sounded like maybe them groups that be going and inspecting in restaurants and stuff may fall up underneath that. I'm just saying, because it's saying food inspections. So I know I'm a foodie, y'all. I love to be trying to go in these restaurants and have me a meal. I'm not one of them big people that try to look at the food rate. Like if I see it on the window, I pay attention to it, but I'm not like going in there looking for it like how some people are. Baby, we all finna be out here eating at our own risk. Like, listen, y'all better say a prayer. Get back to the old school when your mama taught you, say a prayer over your food. I know some of us got away from it, but we're going to have to resume back to the prayer over the food because, if the government shut down, and listen, no telling what's up in it. National parks, in 2013, the National Park Service, NPS, turned away millions of visitors to more than 400 parks, national monuments, and other sites. NPS estimated that the shutdown led to more than $500 million in lost visitor spending nationwide. Many parks remained open during 2018-2019 shutdown, though no visitor services were provided, and damage and trash buildup were reported at many sites. So these parks, like how you normally used to go into a little park and it's all clean and no, because them workers, they don't have the workers out there to keep up they're not going to, if it's shut down, they're not going to have the workers there to kind of keep up these places to make sure they look nice and tidy. I live in Georgia. We have a lot of beautiful parks. I love to go outside, be in nature, take a walk in the parks where I live, my county, have awesome parks. But they're saying, listen, Sheik, if the government shut down, they might not look as nice and pristine as you're used to seeing them. Let's get into this air travel. During 2018-19 shutdown, air travel was strained as a result of the Traffic Controllers and Transportation Security Administration, TSA, agents working without pay. Travelers faced longer lines as some TSA agents did not report to work and security checkpoints were closed, while the absence of 10 air traffic controllers temporarily stopped travel at LaGuardia Airport and caused delays at several major airports. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, so We have a major, like probably the largest international airport in the U.S. As I told you, if they shut down September 30th, I will be traveling. I will already be, at my destination. But when I return later that week, listen, yeah, I will be impacted. So it definitely would not be a great benefit for me if they were to shut down, because I would literally be like caught up in the madness at the airport. Health and Human Services, the National Institute of NIH, would be prevented from admitting new patients or processing grant applications. In 2013, states were forced to front the money for formula grant programs such as Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF, TANF, sometimes described as cash welfare. The IRS, Internal Revenue Services. In the event of a shutdown, the IRS, which verifies income and Social Security numbers, would not be able to perform these services. So some of y'all probably still waiting on y'all checks. How many of y'all still waiting on your tax return? You like, listen, you do an extension every year. As I raise my hand, you do an extension every year. So you'll be caught up in this craziness. By the time you get your little check, it's time to file again. In 2013, a backlog of 1.2 million income and Social Security number verification requests delayed mortgage and other loan approvals, and billions of dollars of tax funds were also delayed. At least 26,000 furlough IRS employees were recalled to work during the 2018-19 shutdown in preparation for tax season, but 14,000 did not show up to work without pay. Y'all, we ain't got no IRS, so we ain't gonna have that problem because they done already got rid of all the people. So y'all know it's gonna be a mess because they already got about 12 people that's there to answer the phone if you got some issues or some questions. Because remember, Trump got rid of them in first quarter. They been gone. So now with a government shutdown, them little 12 people going to turn into about 2 that's probably going to show up to work. So the line really finna be long. So get comfortable and have your charger near if you trying to call and get through to somebody, y'all. I'm telling you, even if you're not a government worker, somehow, some type of way, I assure you, you will feel the impact if there is a government shutdown. That is a promise. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. Let's see. Though funding for SNAP program is mandatory, the ability to send out food stamps, Lord, food stamps. Y'all know people are already snapping over the food stamps already. The ability to send out food stamp benefits could be affected by a shutdown. Lord have mercy. Since continuing resolutions have generally only authorized the Agriculture Department and the USDA to send out benefits for 30 days after a shutdown began, during the 2018-2019 shutdown, the USDA paid February SNAP benefits early on January 20th, just before the 30-day window ended. But it would have been unable to pay March benefits had the shutdown continued. In addition, during any shutdown, stores are not able to renew their electronic benefit transfer, the EBT card licenses. So those whose licenses expire would not be able to accept SNAP benefits during the shutdown. Lord Jesus. Y'all know the lines at Walmart. These places already be long because they want everybody to go to the self-checkout, even though they got about 2 carts of stuff because they done got their reload on the doggone EBT. These folks finna be getting up here trying to goddamn swipe some, and there ain't gonna be nothing there to swipe. Y'all, as I say, somehow, some way, I assure you, you will feel the effects of the government shutdown, i.e. Walmart. So y'all keep that in mind. Listen, baby, if you need to go grocery shop, you need to go before the 30th. Just go on and do your run before the 30th. Go on and do your run before the 30th because it is going to be on and popping in these stores when people try to swipe something and there ain't nothing to swipe. They finna go off. They are going to go off. Is the government preparing for a shutdown? Agencies issued contingency plans to outline the process of entering into an existing during a shutdown. The OMB often maintains a list of each agency's guidance. OMB does not currently list agency by agency guidance, though the previous administration archive list here, most of which was updated in the fall 23, may still apply. Let's see. So a full shutdown. So how would the federal employees be affected? Let's get into this, y'all. Like this video. A full shutdown would be more intensive than the partial shutdown that started in December of 2028. So they was like, oh, you ain't seen nothing, baby. Because I remember that partial one, like, child, it rocked everybody. It just rocked the U.S. So they like, this one right here, this guy, it ain't gonna be no partial nothing. It ain't no partial attached to this. So it says a full shutdown would be more extensive than a partial shutdown that started in December 2018 when Congress had enacted 5 of the 12 appropriate bills. A full shutdown would likely be similar to recent ones in 2013 and early 2018 when approximately 850,000 out of 2.1 million non-postal federal employees were furloughed. In 2013, most of the 350,000 civilian employees at the Defense Department who had been furloughed were summoned back to work within a week. Furloughed employees are not allowed to work and do not receive paychecks, but are guaranteed back pay to legislation passed in January 2019. Federal contractors have historically not received back pay. Are you a federal contractor in this chat? If you know a federal contractor, listen, please share this live with them. At the beginning of the partial 2018-2019 shutdown, an estimated 380,000 employees were furloughed. A smaller number than usual, since large federal employees such as the Veteran Affairs and Defense Departments were already funded. Another 420,000 employees reported to work but did not receive pay until the shutdown ended. What they said that shutdown lasted like 35 days or something? As the 2018-2019 shutdown continued, the departments and agencies such as the IRS and State Department recalled an increasing number of employees. Noah says, well, I won't be getting paid. Lord, Noah Lee, what kind of job you got? Lord, may the Lord be with you. How many and why do mandatory programs continue during the shutdown? Whereas discretionary spending must be appropriated every year, mandatory spending is authorized either for multi-year periods or permanently. Thus, mandatory spending generally continues during a shutdown. However, some services associated with mandatory programs may be diminished if there is a discretionary component of their funding. For instance, during the 1996 shutdown and the 2013 shutdown, Social Security checks continued to go out, but staff who handled new enrollments and other services, such as changing addresses or handling requests for new Social Security cards, were initially furloughed in 96. In 2013, certain activities were discontinued, including verifying benefits and providing new and replacement cards. But the processing of benefit applications and address changes continued. During the 2018-2019 shutdown, USDA had to rely on special authority included in the previous CR to allow it to continue issuing SNAP benefits. Noah, you say you're in the Navy, so okay. Well, at least if you're in the Navy, if you live on base or somewhere, you ain't got to worry about renting, paying that bill. But, depends on what your situation is. Listen, we all gonna keep you lifted in prayer, Noah Lee, but this is what's going on. You may have experienced it before if you were at least, I guess, in the military in 2018, 2019, when the partial shutdown took place. So we just gonna hope for the best. You all make sure you please complete the survey and like the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Welcome. How many times has the government shut down? How many times has the government shut down? I just have memory of, because I'm just 44, I'll be 45 next month. So I just only kind of just remember that last one. So that means like those other ones, I was like really young. How many times has the government shut down? Since Congress introduced the modern budget process in 1976, there have been 20 funding gaps, including the 2018-2019 shutdown and the one in January 2018 when funds were not appropriated for at least one day. The hours-long lapse in appropriation in February 2018, though sometimes characterized as a shutdown, did not result in federal employee furloughs. However, before 1980, the government did not shut down, but rather continued normal operations through 6 funding gaps. Since 1981, 10 funding gaps of 3 days or fewer have occurred. mostly over a weekend when government operations were only minimally affected. So there was a time when the government was duking it out or whatever. It didn't shut things down, but y'all, it's a new day. There have now been 4 true shutdowns where operations were affected for more than one business day. The first 2 happened in the winter of 95, 96. 96, I know I don't remember that, child. I was graduating high school. No, 96 is when I moved to Georgia. I'm from the Bay Area, from California. So I was probably entering like the 10th grade. So no, I definitely don't remember that happening then. When President Clinton and the Republican Congress were unable to agree on spending levels, causing the government to shut down twice for a total of 26 days. The third was in 2013 when a House and a Senate standoff over funding the Affordable Care Act resulted in a 16-day shutdown. So that, let me see. Was that during Obama? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so I think that was like Obama's second term during that time. Because I think Obama got in the first time, in 2008? The fourth shutdown is December 2018 through January 2019. Technically only a partial shutdown because 5 of the 12 appropriations had previously been enacted, centered on dispute over border wall funding, and was the longest lasting shutdown at 35 days. So that was Trump. So Trump already made history. Y'all know Trump be trying to make history. So listen, it's saying the longest one was the one that took place the December 2018, 2019. That was under Trump watch, his first term, 35 days. Y'all know Trump is all about breaking records. So listen, baby. So again, as I'm going deeper and deeper and carrying on this live, I'm feeling more confident that the shutdown will take place and that it is a good chance that it is likely to last longer than the 35 days. I'm just saying, y'all, what they say, history repeats itself. I'm just saying, if this man is already on record with being a part of like the longest shutdown with the 35 days, baby, y'all don't think this man's like, shit, we trying to get 4 to 5 up in the next time. I'm just saying, y'all, I'm just saying, listen, it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. It's just all about being in the know. So you know what's to come, to try to do the best you can to prepare. Does a government shutdown save money? Good question. While estimates vary widely, evidence suggests that shutdowns tend to cost, not save. Y'all, don't we already got $30-some trillion in debt? What they say that we already got. So it sounds like we can't afford a government shutdown if they say that it costs. But anyway, let's carry on. It tends to cost, not save, money for several reasons. For one, putting a contingency plan in place has real costs. In addition, many user fees and other charges are not collected during a shutdown, and federal contractors sometimes include premiums in their bids to account for uncertainty in being paid. While many federal employees are first to be idle during a shutdown, they have historically received and are now guaranteed back pay, negating much of those potential savings. OMB officially estimates of the 2013 government shutdown found that $2.5 billion in pay and benefits were paid to furloughed employees for hours not worked during the shutdown, as well as roughly $10 million in penalty interest payments and lost fee collections. Y'all, I'm on the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget page. That's where I'm getting this information from. Shutdowns also carry a cost to the economy. The Congressional Budget Office, CBO, estimated that the 2018-2019 shutdown reduced gross domestic GDP by a total of $11 billion, including $3 billion that will never be recovered. On top of that effect, CBO notes that longer shutdowns negatively affect private sector investment and hiring decisions, as businesses cannot obtain federal permits and certifications or access federal loans. In 2019, Senate report found that the 3 government shutdowns in 2018, 2013, 2018, and 2019 wasted nearly $4 billion on taxpayer dollars. Y'all, like I said, we ain't got it like that. This country has been on a Tasha K before Tasha K was on the Tasha K. We ain't got it. We ain't got it. We ain't got it. We ain't got it. But again, as I say, these people who are out here making these decisions got it. That's the difference. The people who got it are the ones out here making the decisions for the people who ain't got it. Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I did? They got it. We ain't got it. Play it. I told you it's hard out here for a pimp. It is hard out here for a pimp. It's been hard for a really, really long time, and it's only getting worse. Every day we hear about job layoffs. And then after we hear people talk about how they lost their job, then we'll see a press conference and Trump at the White House talking about how great the American economy is doing. Sir, I know you working on that ballroom at the White House. I don't know who birthday party, grandbaby birthday party you planning to host. I don't know what you're trying to do, sir, but what we doing, why we need to invest $1 billion in the doggone ballroom that we ain't gonna never see, because y'all know we paying for it, but he working on the ballroom. I just learned the man working on the ballroom, and he too excited about this doggone ballroom. Anyway, let's get back to this. How can Congress avoid? Let's talk about how can we avoid this shutdown? Because right now I done told y'all make sure y'all complete the poll. It's in the hands of the Republicans. They got all the votes, all the seats. So listen, no matter how you slice it and dice it, they are the shot callers with this. From Trump on down, they are the shot callers. There are essentially two ways to avoid a government shutdown: by passing appropriations or continuing resolution. See question on what is continuing resolution. Theoretically, the House and Senate appropriations committees are supposed to pass 12 different appropriation bills that are broken up into subcommittees by subject area and based on funding levels allocated in budget resolution. Often these bills are combined into larger omnibus or minibus legislation. To avoid a shutdown, Congress would need to pass the 12 appropriation bills through both chambers and get them signed by the president, i.e. President Donald J. Trump, Donald Jaquavius Trump. That is what the J means over here, just in case you didn't know. Signed by the president by the end of the day on September 30th. Listen, that man, at the beginning of this live, I played the clip of how Representative Jeffries, he said Donald Trump then egged him. They had a meeting scheduled. Donald Trump then already canceled on him. Everybody then canceled on him. He was like, the Republicans, they're not trying to talk to me. So I don't know, it's giving that they just wanted to shut down because the meetings that we as Democrats had scheduled to talk with them, they've canceled on us. This could be done by enacting the bill individually or packaging them together through an omnibus or a minibus. Otherwise, Congress would need to pass a continuing resolution, a CR, to keep the government open at fiscal year 2025 funding levels. Listen, y'all. I ain't made nothing up that I done told y'all in these 72 minutes. It is hard out. It's real. It done got real. It's real as it can get. It is what it is. It is what it is. Brace yourself. All you can do is protect yourself. When you know better, you can do better. So by you having this information, you know how to move, how to prepare. For one, you need to get in them grocery stores for them people realize ain't nothing loaded on them food stamps, because folks gonna be going crazy. Ain't nothing like you ain't got no job and no food either. It's gonna be real bad out here because people finna be hungry and broke. That is a bad combination. That is a bad combination, to be hungry and broke. McAllister says they need some Democrats because this is not a majority vote bill. Not at all. Al said, due to the various amendments in this bill, shut the down. Listen, it's given that it's about to shut down. Let's check. Let me see what this poll looking like. Let's see. Do you think the Republicans will shut the government down? 36% say yes. 24% say no. 39% say not sure. Most people are like, I don't know. Most people are like, I don't know. Earlier today, I would say probably less than 24 hours ago, I was leaning on, nah. But today, I'm like, yeah, it's giving it. It's on its way. It's going to be a shutdown. Oh, you said 2/3 majority, not a simple majority. Listen, we're going to see soon enough. We're going to see soon enough. So that's on that, y'all. We covered a lot. But before we get, I want to show y'all again, y'all. Y'all seen that? Let me show y'all what DC is giving these days. I'm gonna show y'all what DC is giving these days. Y'all ready? Like this video.
And a statue featuring President Trump and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has popped up on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Have you seen this on social media? The temporary statue depicts Trump and Epstein holding hands and skipping. The statue was put up by a group that calls them.
What they say? Y'all, let me read this. Jeffrey Epstein, nor will I, since I also know what is. Yes, we do. Come to think of it, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Y'all, this is really this is real.
Secret handshake, and it comes during a push to release files having to do with the Epstein investigation and prosecution. President Trump has dismissed the matter as a hoax. A permit indicates the statue can stay up on the mall until September the 28th.
So this is called the secret handshake. So this is called, the statue is called the secret handshake. It is currently up in DC, right outside of the White House. What do they say? It's the permit. It's allowed to be up through the September 28th. So, yeah, so to think, this is what Trump sees every day. The secret handshake, because that is the name of the statue. Y'all, I wonder what these other countries think of, because Trump like, yeah, the U.S. is the hottest place. Everybody want to be here. I don't know, sir. I don't know, because, like, you got this outside of the White House, so I don't know who rushed in to be here with a statue outside of the White House titled The Secret Handshake with your liking, and Jeffrey Epstein. I wonder how much money it costs to create this. Because I don't know if they did some crowdfunding, they did a GoFundMe, they sold some fish plates with some spaghetti to raise funds to get these statues up here. But you can see, like, these are some real statues. Like this somebody paid money for this. Somebody paid money for this. So this is what the U.S. is giving today. So I don't know, like, it's not a good look. It's not a good look, but it's the reality of where we are today, our country. So that's on that, y'all. So thank y'all for joining me. Please like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Welcome if you're new to my channel. My name's Chic. I talk all things positive over here on Chic Speaks on It. I have 2 channels. This is the channel I talk all things politics. So listen, I haven't been out here all that much because it's just, y'all know, these last couple of weeks, it's been a lot. People just been getting a business for speaking their mind. And y'all know, if you knew them, by you been over today, y'all know I don't hold back. I'm gonna speak my mind. So I had to kind of have my come to Jesus moment, be like, okay, woosah. How are we going to approach this internet thing? Because YouTube has been shadow banning my channel for about a month now. So that's another thing. If you know, you know. Those of you who've been around day ones or been around for a while, you know it can get quite active over here. It can be thousands of people in the chat. Those of you who may be new, my channel, normally it'll be like thousands of people in the chat. We get thousands of views over here, but lately YouTube has been like, Chic, we can't have you putting this tea out here like that. So they've been shadow banning my account, so my channel. So I just kind of been taking a break or whatever. But tonight I had to go live because I missed you all, and I was like, oh, let me come back and talk my talk. Stanley says all you need to do is speak your truth. That's it. But look isn't that what Jimmy Kimmel was doing? Why y'all think Disney came back and gave that man back his job? How many of y'all was out there canceling them subscriptions? Canceling them Christmas Disney trips. They gave that man his job back with the quickness. He didn't even have to go apply. You know how you go and do your unemployment, you apply for your unemployment? He had his job back before the unemployment status was updated. So yes, I mean, that's all you can do is speak your truth, and that is what I do. So, but it's like these days people are just, you know, I just do the best I can. But it's the little things for me, as I say. So you all coming through, watching the content, liking the video. Like, I had 30 likes tonight. It was probably at one point over 200 people at some point on this live. So it be like that. It's hard out here for a pimp and content creators. It is hard out here for the pimps and the content creators. It is hard, but we come out here and we make it do what it do, and that's all we can do. And I thank each and every one of you. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I don't know when I'm going to come back. I told you I got a trip. I'm about to be traveling. So I don't know when I'll be back, but you all make sure that you have your notification bell on so you know when I do go live. So I mean, Al said Disney was losing billions and millions of subscribers. Power to the people. Yes, and from what I'm hearing, the people, like, they on their target, like, and we still ain't coming back. We don't care if okay, we'll be back watching it, but you still ain't getting this subscription. I ain't got no job anyway, so I can't afford to be paying you anyway. So I ain't got no money. And they about to have a government shutdown. I can't afford it. No, Disney, I can't afford it. I couldn't afford it when I was paying you. So I think that now, when people now are learning to see what they can live without, because they're now, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. People are now, learning what they can live without, because they're now getting in a situation to where they have to start doing without some things that they had before. So you got to start cutting costs. And that's just something people got to do. You just got to start figuring out where you can cut costs. And the Disney subscription is something where people are like, you know what? I really don't need to be paying into that anyway. Hulu, yeah, I don't need to be paying into that anyway. I just get on YouTube and watch Sheik. She gonna wild out anyway. So people, once they start, saving that money, it's probably not likely that they're going to go back to paying out that money. Y'all know, kind of like, how many of y'all was some people who stopped paying for cable? I ain't had cable in probably 8 years. Never looked back, because you had all these streaming services. Like, why do you need cable when you have so many ways that you can watch whatever it is that you want to watch? You know what I'm saying? So I can save that bill. Cable at that time for me, probably internet plus the cable bill, you're like, what, $150 out of $150 fast internet, like crazy. So when I stopped paying into that, it's just like I never went back. You just learn how to just live without those things, right? So I think with this Disney situation, where they messed up is that it gave people a reason to save money anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? I ain't need to be paying that any damn way. That need to be going in the savings. So you done pissed me off. So now I got a reason to not pay that. You see what I'm saying? So they really messed up. They really messed up. They finna be saying kumbaya with Target. They done messed up. I don't feel sorry for them. I'm glad that man is back at work. But what I say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So on that note, you all take care of yourselves and one another. Go out there, show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you. Like attracts like. It's just that simple. Be nice. Be nice. You all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Like, share, and subscribe on your way out, and I'll catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.